Are you tired of being hard stuck Diamond 2 and you want to break out already and get on that road to Unreal like this?
Let's see, bro. Let's see. I'm just like, I want to see
yes! Oh, yes, King! Yes,
no
King!
fucking
Yes, King!
way.
Oh, that's just so good! If the answer to that question is yes, then you should 100% stick and watch the end of this video, because today, guys, I'm going to be laying it out on the table for you guys, a full guide from early game to end game on how to play through your diamond and high ranked matches to get to that Unreal rank. And also, I'm going to be throwing in some tips and tricks where I demonstrate some maneuvers you guys can do to get out of some sticky situations. Because again, this guide is made for players that are not pros. This is for players that want to make it to Unreal, get that Unreal badge, play in the high level tournaments without being a fucking insane creative warrior. So make sure you watch this video to the end if you want to know how to get good, kid. Okay, guys, we're going to be doing now a play-by-play on how to play through these high-ranked matches like Diamond and Elite. Usually, I go to this drop right here, but you can find your own if you think that I'm fucking retarded and there's a better spot. Of course, you can drop your own spot. But I highly suggest you have at least 2 others that you can drop at in case yours is like the first on the bus line and is going to be highly contested. And also, guys, before you continue watching this video, just gotta remind you that this is a guide for more of the higher ranks. Like, of course, this is a guide for players that are not that good at ranked, trying to rank up and get involved in the competitive scene. But this is also a guide for the higher divisions like Diamond and Elite. I am in Elite right now, and if you guys want a guide on how to grind your way through gold and platinum, some of those lower level ranks, watch my first video I did on this. It will be the first video linked in the description. That video also goes over what augments you should be choosing and what gun loadout you should be using. It's definitely more of the basic stuff. Also, the strategies I teach in that are a lot more basic. They're going to be a little more advanced in this video. So what you want to do is just land somewhere far off and get some loot. And if someone does end up landing at your spot with you, what you want to do is you want to just grab a gun as quickly as you possibly can and gun him down before he can get heals or gun himself. That's why even if you think you're alone, you should be trying to get the lowest drop possible just in case someone is with you. And also, I know that this place does have slurp barrels, but you should pop shields and shit when you can, because you never know when someone's going to push from Swageen. You just gotta be careful, especially in these higher ranks, because the punishment for losing is doubled and the reward for doing well is cut in half. And you don't want to take any early game fights. I mean, mid game fights are debatable, but you definitely don't want to take any early game fights, because if you lose them, you could drop anywhere up to 25%, and that really fucking sucks, trust me. Sometimes it could take like, sometimes if you just push a few early game fights in a row and fuck up, that could end up costing you upwards of like 3 games that you have to replay to catch back up, and it's not fun. And that's a lot of the reason why it took me so long to get to Elite from Diamond, because I was pushing fights I probably shouldn't have. And just an FYI, if you guys are in Diamond right now instead of Elite, this drop spot that I'm at right now is not as viable in Diamond. I don't know what the reason is, but for some reason, people just like to land here a lot more in Diamond than they do in Elite. Another thing to know about the transition from Diamond to Elite and the higher ranks like Unreal is people are a bit less aggressive until endgame, because they don't want to lose their points either. So keep that in mind. So like if you are like in a sticky situation, you need to get away, you are a little bit less likely to get pushed super hard. Now what you want to do from here is just loot the spot, and then eventually you'll be able to move just smoothly into mid game. I definitely suggest instead of using the ram rocket, you should use either the broomstick or the impulses. I know that in a video before I said you should use ram rocket over the impulses, but that was when the ram rocket was sort of new and people have figured out how to beam people out the sky with the ram rocket now, and it's just not as viable as it used to be. So keep that in mind if you're coming from the first video. Also, slurp barrels, I highly suggest, even if you're full shield, you break them for 2 reasons. First of all, you don't want to be getting in a fight with someone, even if you are going to be avoiding fights. Sometimes you need to take fights, and if you do get in a fight, you don't want that person to be able to just go pop barrels on you because you didn't pop the ones near you. And also, they're just a good metal source. especially considering that this map is highly lacking in metal. For moving into mid game, you're going to want to farm up your mats to near max, because yes, you are going to be avoiding most fights mid game if you follow my instructions, but sometimes you have to take fights, and you're going to want to be matted up in case you have to. And another piece of advice that I want to say, just because it happened to me so many times, when you land there, if someone pushes you from the mountain and is up there, you usually do have to take the fight. Usually running is not a great option, because taking a launch pad to get out, which is the most viable way, usually ends up getting you beamed out of the sky, and then they push you, considering how good of an angle that they have on you up there. It's just better to try and take the fight and let them push down to you and kill them. Or maybe, just maybe, if you really don't want to take the fight or you really can't afford it, you can use the water and sneak back over to metal, which is also risky because people often land metal. Definitely more people land metal than the drop spot that I just looted. But now we're going to be, if you watched the last video, you know that I'm rotating up to this building now to take the launch pad like I usually do as we transfer our way into mid-game. And this is an example of a fight I'm going to have to take. Oh, dirty! Dirty! I did not have to do that guy that dirty, though, for a fucking guide video. I'm doing it in a guide video, bro. Okay, guys, now that we're about halfway through the match, I'm going to teach you guys some strategies you can use for late game, early game, and end game. Some of the most important things you're going to need to know how to do for the higher arenas. First off, let's talk about some early game stuff. We're going to be doing these strategies under the idea that you do not have a lot of mats because it is early game. And we're going to also do it as if you are on the back foot, because, you know, it's early game. You're probably not going to be super matted up. So we're going to want to talk about as if you are getting heavily pressured, especially considering people are really aggressive in game. So say you're getting pushed. You're going first thing first, box out, obviously. And what you're going to want to do is you're just going to wait. They're going to be smacking at your wall, right? Boom, boom. You're going to be turbo building it. What you want to do is you want to wait. You want to wait until right when he breaks your wall and you place a new one. Right when that new one gets placed, you're going to want to edit a window or something and pop him real quick. Just something along those lines. You're going to want to break him up if you know he has shield. If you know he doesn't have shield or he's already broken and you know you have shield, what you can go for is a trade. It is risky, but it has worked for me a lot. And a lot of players have been going for trades lately and it has been working. Basically, and it'll catch your enemy off guard. I can guarantee that. I can't guarantee it'll work every time, but what I can guarantee you is that it will catch your enemy off guard. When he's trying to take your wall, usually right about when you place a new wall, you're going to want to edit open an arch and just walk out and pop him. When you do it really quick, it should look like this. And he will not be ready for that. I promise that. You probably won't have time to get back in. That's why it's a trade. It's risky. Because if he's ready for it, he could pop you. But more likely than not, you're both going to end up hitting each other, and it's going to come down to who has more health, which is why it's a trade. A strat that you're going to want to know for mid-game and end-game, because I couldn't really think of one that's just specifically for mid-game, is definitely knowing how to do some serious high ground retakes. And for high ground retakes, I definitely suggest, you don't have to turn up your base sensitivity, but definitely turn your build sensitivity up pretty high so that you can 90 up quickly, especially if you're on controller. But trust me, 90s don't always work, because say if someone's like right here and they see you 90ing, they're just going to spray down on you and kill you. That ramp probably isn't going to be there to save you, though. So what you're going to want to do is, say someone's up there, right? You're going to get up close, and you're going to boom, boom, and then cone, right? Break it, boom, and then that's how, then you're above them. Usually they'll start building up too, but you're just going to have to try and keep up with them at that point. Or a more advanced version of that you're just going to have to practice over time. Just the straight cone is more of a beginner version of this that I'm about to show you guys. Once you get used to just coning like that and getting up, because the cone will eventually break, is only a temporary protection, you're going to want to start doing double edits. And then boom. And you see the benefit of doing a double edit like this is that the cone stays in position, so when he is when he's staring at you right here, he's not going to have an angle until you're right about here. But for that, all you got to do is just run up and boom, and take high ground on him. And if he sits there trying to shoot you, he's going to lose his high ground to you very quickly. If he's a smart player, though, he'll probably start building up with you. And then eventually, there's even a step above double edits that are even more secure than a double edit. And those are triple edits. You probably hear people talk about it pretty often. Basically, what a triple edit is what you do. This is pretty hard to pull off, especially when you're on controller, is run up, edit, and then wall, and boom, like that. Sometimes you'll already have a wall there, but you just gotta get used to it over time. See, I can't even do it 100% of the time, but it just takes practice. Boom, just like that, and then you can move up into a 90. But not least, probably the late game strat you're probably going to need to know is turtling. You probably heard it before from Turtle War maps. It's pretty basic these days, but a surprisingly low amount of people know how to do it efficiently. Especially in duos, it's a lot easier doing duos because what you need to do here is you need to just edit an arch, and then make a box right next to it, and then just continue this until you're in circle, because Storm will be on your ass while you're doing this, so you gotta do it pretty efficiently. Or another way that people like to do it is what they do is they'll stand right here and then place a floor, a wall, and a stair. I honestly find this harder. It is more mat efficient, but I find it harder. But it does work. It does work. And it does only provide a pretty thin layer protecting you from outside fire. But if you're low on mats, this is definitely a strategy to consider. And the reason why this is a bit easier on duos is because a big flaw of this is if you're tunneling fast and you don't have time to go back and close your edits. If someone drops down, say, a couple boxes away, they have an open path to shoot me. But when you're on duos, you can have a friend dropping mats or doing the turtling for you and then closing the arches behind you. And then when you need to run back, you guys can just run through the arches and he can close them for you again. But yeah, that's basically all with this little quick intermission for little skills that you guys should know. But with that being said, let's get back to the main video. Okay, now back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. If you remember, usually in my last video, I said I usually push Radio Tower, but in these higher leagues like Diamond and Elite, it's just not a good idea to push Radio Tower anymore because it is usually highly contested and half the lobby likes to go there to try and get the card so they can have an advantage in endgame. But you know, it's really just not worth dying over. So if you want to get those points racked up, you're just going to rotate circle. I usually come down into the jungle because just in case I get beamed out the sky, there's a lot of slurp plants I can break down here without having to use up my heals I'm carrying. For heals, your ideal loadout is going to probably be Pizza and Mini Shields, and then hopefully Slurp if you can get it later in the game. But now we're going to be moving into endgame, and the best way to do this is to probably... Hold on, there's a fucking asshole dinosaur right here. And there's someone pushing me, and we're going to want to avoid that. For mid-game, your best thing is either hiding in a bush or hiding in a cone. And man, you know what? There's no shame in hiding in a bush. There's no shame in it. You know, you just got to do what you got to do. Is there shame in popping out of a bush and shooting someone in the head? You know what? Maybe a little bit. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. We're going to dip now because we don't want to take these mid-game fights. These mid-game fights are the worst ones to take. Looking like this guy might not give us an option, though. This guy is not healed, so we probably shouldn't run from this fight yet. Now we're going to run because that guy's probably going to take the opportunity that I got beamed to shoot to try and kill me. And we're not going to want to deal with third parties. Third parties are probably the last thing you want to deal with. If anything, third parties you should see as an opportunity to get away from a fight you don't want to take. As you can see, this endgame has been a little bit turbulent for me. Usually endgames won't be as turbulent for you if you're just hiding in a bush or taking the pyramid strat, which you probably should be. The only reason I'm not right now is because there's a lot of people in the area and I don't want anyone to see me getting into my little spot. But mid-game is really just about trying to make it to endgame. Your ultimate goal here is to make it to endgame, because those endgame kills count for a lot of extra points in early game. significantly enough to where it's worth it. And the only real guaranteed way to not lose any points in especially Elite, maybe not Diamond, but especially in Elite, the only guaranteed way to not lose your points is making it to top 5. I hear someone crouch walking up to me, and he's probably going to shoot me if I let him get close, so we're going to move to another bush. And there's someone right there. And there's a third party. Awesome. This game is not going well for me. And we're just going to wait it out until circle moves, and then we'll see where we have to go from here, because it looks like the two people that did try and attack me are not super aggro. Yeah, as you can see, that guy's just kind of chilling on the hill. He doesn't really want to take the fight, so we're not going to give it to him. Usually in this situation, especially if you're in Diamond, I suggest that you probably should take the fight if this guy... If you see a guy like this who clearly doesn't want to take a fight, because that usually means they're not that great at the game. Probably like you, if you're watching this video. Okay. But you should always be careful, because you never know, because he might just start aggroing you like he did to me right there. And it looks like he's pushing the other guy over there. And I'm pretty sure you do get, like, little minor percentages for damage. So if you can get some dinks in there mid-game, if you really feel like it, you go for it. See, like that? Just little quick dinkers. We are in top 7 already in this type of circle. This game is not very good for my video, because this is not how an Elite match usually goes. If you didn't know, Elite matches usually end up having like fucking 16 people in Final Circle. And we're not even near Final Circle, and we're in top 10. Which is actually pretty good for what we're trying to go for, but usually, I'm just letting you guys know, if you're an Elite, this is not usually how your matches are going to go. So we're just going to chill in this bush now. It's basically the end of mid-game, and... we finally got in a break, but we're just going to chill in this bush until late game starts. All right, we are officially in late game because the half circles start popping up, and what we want to do is we just want to be the first person in that circle, and we need to box up and cone up. Usually your late games are not going to be this chillaxed, not even in Diamond, really. I can't believe that we really have top 5 at the beginning of endgame. That is not normal for a ranked match, but what you're going to... Hold on, I might have to shut up for a second. Well, this guy might push me. Okay, never mind. What you want to do is you just want to box up in circle for late game and just chill out, mind your own business, do your own thing, and just try and dink people while they're rotating. That's probably your best bet, is just to get people while they're rotating and busy in fights. That is probably just your best idea to go for. Don't be super aggro pushing everyone, especially in late game, because that is just... you're begging to get third-partied at that point, guys. If you aggro everyone late game, I can promise you, you'll probably get a few kills, but you're not going to get the victory royale, which is what you should ultimately be aiming for, because that's what you get most percentage for. Because if you aggro everyone late game, you are just going to get third-partied and you're going to die. That's just how it is, because someone who is following my strategy and listening to me is going to just third-party you while you're aggroing and fucking kill you. That guy is aggro, so we're going to want to steer clear of him. We don't want to piss that guy off. He's aggro. Why piss off an aggro player? We're going to just get right on the edge of the circle. We don't have to be perfectly in circle. We just have to be in circle, man. Because with these late games, there's no real way to be in the middle of the circle. And as you can see, I'm fucked. And top 4, that's not horrible. With 1 kill, top 4 is not horrible. Usually, there won't be a sweat ball destroying the entire lobby like this. Because as you can see, how many kills does this guy have? He has 6. He probably went to Loot Island. Usually, you won't have these types of players. But let's see. See? And we've got up to 39. Only 5%, but in Elite, that's pretty good. In Diamond, if you got up to top 4 like that with 1 kill, you'll probably get about 25%. That's at least been my experience with it. And the only real last piece of advice I have to give you is just find a duo partner. Things are so much easier if you have a duo partner and you have someone to play duos with. Yes, it is halved again. The punishment is doubled again, and the points you can gain is halved again. But also there's so many more options for kills, so many more so many opportunities to run away from fights and make it to endgame. Finding a duo is really important. And last piece of advice, I know I said the last one was my last piece of advice, but my absolute final piece of advice is don't do random squads or duos, because everybody in those is just going to hard push everything and die and then blame it on you, and it's just not fun. Trust me, it's not fun. It's very hard to find a random duo that's actually good at the game and not fool themselves and double keying everything. Alright guys, that's basically all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if it helped you out, helped you get closer to Unreal. And what you're going to want to do from here is just rinse and repeat the strategy that I just explained to you guys after match after match after match, and eventually you'll just get to Unreal. It's not going. Maybe it'll be a little more tedious than W King, everyone. But you know, if you're not the greatest player, that's just what you have to do, man. But with that being said, do all the like, subscribing, and sharing, like I already said, and check out my other social medias link in the description. Also, check out my Patreon for just $5 a month. You can get invited to our Discord server with me and all the guys in it, and possibly even be featured in a video for just $5. And if you're not featured in a video, I put all my Patreons at the end of the video. I put all your guys' name. I shout out your social medias. The only reason I haven't yet is because nobody's fucking subscribed to it. So go do that. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.